Hi everyone, it's Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hope you're having a great week, or having a good start of the week, and that you had a great weekend. It's Labor Day here in the U.S., big bank holiday. Everyone's out doing crazy fun stuff, and I'm just taking a little break from the crazy fun stuff. So we're not having our regular webinar today, but I wanted to make a recording for everybody to kind of remind you of some of the setups that we have and some of the great things we have going into this week. So it should be a pretty exciting week as far as trading goes. Remember, if you go to daytradersfx.com, you can get a free trial and join us this week and see how we're managing some of these trades and how we're running some of these movements and so on. So if you go to daytradersfx.com, you can click on join or the free trial button. It'll take you to this page right here, and you can get a free trial and do a couple of things there. So just go to our website, click on Start Now, and it'll take you to that page and give you some details there. We'd love to have you join us this week for a free trial and all that stuff. So hope to see you there. Okay, so this week we've got quite a bit of news. We've got news kind of all over the place. So obviously no major news in the U.S. Today, but we did see manufacturing PMI for the UK come out a little bit lower than expected. And we've got lots of stuff coming up. We have interest rates for Australia. We have a current Aussie-New Zealand trade that we're going to have a look at with this coming up. This is in the next several hours. And then on Tuesday we have some ISM numbers from the U.S., some GDP numbers from Australia. It's pretty decent sized day there. Then we have interest rates coming out of Canada on Wednesday, retail sales and trade balance out of Australia on Wednesday, and then Thursday gets really crazy exciting, and this is where I think things are going to get super interesting. Number one, we have the interest rate vote for the UK, so the official bank rate vote, that's happening on Thursday. That'll be pretty exciting. And then following that, we have interest rates coming from the Eurozone as well, and the ADP numbers for the U.S. And then we have the ECB press conference on Thursday. This is going to be super interesting, and I'll tell you why. But remember, and then Friday we have both Canadian and U.S. employment numbers. So it's a big week of news. But Thursday is going to be super interesting because we have a lot of pretty oversold euro pairs, and this news is either going to move them further away and give us pretty nice setups, or it's going to start that recovery of all of this oversold movement. And I think we could see that recovery started at least in small scale. Some breakout trades, some news opportunities, some big, great things potentially could happen with this coming news out of the ECB on Thursday. So we're going to kind of talk about that just a little bit here. We're looking at this euro dollar, and one thing about the euro dollar is it's getting pretty overextended. Talking about these overbought and oversold markets, we see euro dollar is 200 plus bars down on this 4-hour chart. We have all these missed pivots and all these things happening. And we're currently long euro dollar. We're looking for this thing to make its way back up here and fill some of these gaps and hit some of these weekly pivots and so on. And the setups are looking pretty good. The 1 hour chart here on euro dollar is now 250 bars out. I mean, it's all looking ready for at least some sort of minor to semi-decent recovery. I'm not expecting the euro dollar to run up into the mid 130s, 135, 136, but I think we could see some runs up into 132.50 and 133.00, and so that's what I am looking for, and the ECB press conference could be the thing that gets us there. So again, definitely above 132.00, we should be pretty bullish euro dollar. But I'm looking for opportunities for some good price patterns, some good, and we're kind of getting some of those already. But we do want to see some nice patterns, falling wedges, rising wedges. Some of this stuff right here, and it's just not looking super beautiful yet. It's slowly working its way into it, but it's still not there. So hopefully the ECB news gives us an opportunity to buy the euro dollar, and I think it can and should. Because of how overextended this pair now is. So again, I can't say a ton about this yet because the setup's not quite there, but I think coming into this week, this would be a great time to get a free trial because I think we're going to have some really good opportunities towards the end of the week to trade the euro dollar recovery, and I think it could be really big. So that's pretty exciting news. So we're looking at euro dollar for that. Pound dollar is another great one. I like the pound dollar, even though there's been a little bit of what was the announcement this morning? I think the ISM, or one of them, I can't even remember now, was missed. It came out a little bit lower than expected, but still the pound dollar seems to be holding decently well. And remember, on this one, we have got a very nice little 170 bar extension on this 4-hour chart, which is good. The 1 hour is kind of consolidating, and it looks like it's finding a bit of a bottom here and so on. And it's doing pretty well with that. But I think that this pound dollar is going to give us a nice little move higher. It seems that it's kind of held that 165.50-ish area, and it's kind of been working its way back up. A couple of things I'm looking at is obviously if we start getting above 16700, I think we have a pretty nice run from there. But ultimately, the level I'm looking to hold anyways, is 16600, and currently we're just above 16600. I think if this level holds, we're at least headed into 167, 16700, 16750 area. So I'm definitely looking to get long pound dollar and get a run up into that 16700 as long as 16600 holds. So 16600 is our magic. That's the magic one we want to see hold. Ideally, I'd like to see a daily candle close, and obviously open above that level. And I think that'd be a great opportunity to start getting long pound dollar. So that one's looking super good. We're keeping an eye on the dollar CAD. There is a hint of some overextendedness. So you can see that we have some pretty nice hammers on this dollar CAD, 1 hour, 4-hour chart. Daily chart, nice little hammer there. So we're going to keep an eye on this dollar CAD and see if it gives us an opportunity to trade it back up higher and up through that up to that 110 and through that 110 area. So I don't have an exact entry yet, but just know that one's on the watch list for this week for sure. Okay, so getting back to a couple of euro pairs again, I think some of this ECB news coming up is really going to help the euro, or has the potential of really helping some of these euro pairs. Because again, we're starting to see some very, very extended charts. This 1 hour chart is now 260 bars out. We have a nice little falling wedge. It's a pretty slim one, but a nice falling wedge on this Euro Aussie. And so I'm looking for kind of that 14100 break. I think we start getting back above 14100, and the Euro Aussie might just be ready for a decent move into probably 14200 and even 14250, if not more. So there's a great opportunity there. That's Euro Aussie. I'm definitely not going to be selling this one any further down. There's a huge falling wedge here on this daily chart that looks pretty nice and is doing pretty well, and it's been kind of huddling along the bottom of that. And you can see that we're starting to get a couple of reversal candles on that daily chart, and the 4-hour chart's looking pretty good as well. So again, above about 14100, I think this Euro Aussie starts making a pretty attractive option for a long entry into 14200, 14250. We're currently short Aussie New Zealand in the group, and we're in profit, and it's looking like a pretty decent little trade. One thing I'm looking at Aussie New Zealand here, and this could definitely be affected with some of the Aussie news coming up, is we start breaking this 11130 area. 11130 is looking interesting. I liked it a lot on the 1 hour chart, but we're kind of getting things converging on this 1 hour chart a little bit, so it's looking like more of a long-term potential. We're already in it. By the time it breaks that, we'll have some profit, but this 11130 is an interesting level, and I think if we break that, there's a very, very easy run down into about 11050. So should be a pretty easy 80 pip move at least from the break of that 11130. So I'm liking that, and I could definitely see this Aussie New Zealand heading down further. Of course, the Aussie news, the interest rate news, and what Stevens has to say is going to affect this pair quite a bit, and we have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, Aussie New Zealand is looking very, very good. Again, looking at euro pairs, it's going to be interesting to see how this ECB stuff goes, because now we have a Euro CAD that's looking kind of interesting as well. Seems to be kind of getting some long wicks and bottoming out here just a little bit, making some big, pretty massive runs down, breaking some supports, and finally, getting to a little bit of an overextended area. So Euro CAD's on the list for some possible recovery trades. Even potentially, above 142, 95, 14300 up into that 143.50 and 14400 area is kind of what I'll be watching this week. Euro pounds on the list as well, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. But we're definitely keeping an eye on euro dollar, euro Aussie, euro CAD for some nice opportunities to jump in on those. And euro pound's a good one, but the pound seems to be holding very, very good, and the euro is showing a lot of weakness. So we're going to be careful with that one. We'll kind of see how that goes. Pound Swiss franc is getting pretty interesting. Remember, we're looking for the pound Swiss franc to make a move from this daily chart, so we want to see this kind of get higher. It's breaking out of this little short-term channel here. It's leaving some gaps and a couple of things along the way here, so hopefully this runs up a good bit more, and then we can start looking for some nice shorting opportunities on pound Swiss franc. It looks like a great little trade, great setup. Speaking of Swiss franc pairs, Aussie Swiss franc looks like a really good one as well, and remember, we have Australian central bank news tonight, so that's going to be a pretty big deal. But the Aussie Swiss franc is, 1 hour chart is looking pretty excellent, about 185 bars out. 4 hour chart is looking decent, making a nice little move here, and daily has kind of been holding above the moving average and kind of doing that pretty well as well. So I'm definitely looking for some opportunities to short the Aussie Swiss franc this week as well, if not tonight with some of the coming news. So should be a good little setup there. It'll be interesting to see where we get our exact entry. It's not totally clear yet, and we'll kind of judge things as the news hits and so on. But should be a good little opportunity, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then last but not least, we have the New Zealand dollar, which is getting fairly overextended as well. 4 hour chart is getting out there, 170 plus bars. I'm looking for about 8,400 to really break. If we get above this 8,400 right here, and ideally I think we need a daily open above that level, then we should see some good opportunities to at least trade a little bit of a recovery and get a little bit of a buying opportunity on New Zealand dollar above 8,400. If it holds at 8,400 and starts breaking some other lower trend lines, then we might have ourselves a nice little opportunity to continue shorting this pair. So it just kind of depends on what goes first. But watch this ascending trend line. But really, that 8,400 is the make or break level for the upside right now. So above 8,400, we should see some nice moves higher on Aussie New Zealand. On New Zealand dollar. So very nice little setup there. As you can see, we've got some great trades forming this week. New Zealand dollar, Aussie Swiss franc, Euro CAD, Aussie New Zealand, Euro Aussie, pound dollar, Euro dollar. So we have lots and lots of setups this week, and we should have plenty of trading opportunities. So best of luck, guys. Hopefully that's all helpful news, and hopefully you get some great trades. And again, we'd love to see you in the group with us this week. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.